Around 100 million to 66 million years ago, the Late Cretaceous period unfolded as a dynamic chapter in Earth's deep history. This was a time when our planet was a vastly different place, a world teeming with life forms both familiar and strange to modern eyes, shaped by shifting continents, climates, and ecological interactions. To truly appreciate the lives and interactions of prehistoric snakes and the dinosaurs they sometimes preyed upon, we must first immerse ourselves in the setting of this remarkable era. During the Late Cretaceous, the planet's continents were in the midst of breaking apart from the supercontinent Pangaea, a process that had begun in earlier Mesozoic periods but intensified during this time. The gradual rifting led to isolated land masses and newly formed coastlines, which created a diverse array of habitats. Vast inland seas stretched across some continents, such as the Western Interior Seaway, splitting North America into two large islands. These seaways fostered aquatic ecosystems rich with marine reptiles, fish, and invertebrates. The climate of the Late Cretaceous was generally warm, lacking polar ice caps and providing temperate to tropical environments far into higher latitudes. This warm greenhouse climate nurtured lush vegetation that blanketed many land areas. Thick coniferous forests, broadleaf angiosperm trees, ferns, cycads, and flowering plants. These plants formed the backbone of terrestrial ecosystems, sustaining a diverse array of herbivores and supporting complex food webs. One hallmark of the Late Cretaceous was the incredible diversity of dinosaur species. Unlike earlier periods, this era saw the rise of some of the most iconic groups. The massive herbivorous hadrosaurs, often known as duck-billed dinosaurs, towering ceratopsians with their elaborate frills and horns, and armored ankylosaurs. Carnivorous theropods, including the famed Tyrannosaurus rex, prowled these lands, hunting and competing for food. But dinosaurs were not the only major players. Mammals were evolving steadily, though still relatively small and inconspicuous, and pterosaurs soared in the skies, adding more layers to the ecosystem. Amid this complex scene, reptiles beyond dinosaurs had their own important roles and evolutionary developments. Crocodyliforms occupied rivers and swamps as dominant aquatic predators, while turtles, lizards, and notably snakes were diversifying and expanding their niches. Snakes, in particular, were beginning to exploit new habitats and prey resources, increasingly carving out their own place in terrestrial food chains. In the aquatic realms, both freshwater and marine systems thrived. Ancient fish species, including sharks and ray-finned fish, inhabited the seas, while coelurosaurian theropods occasionally ventured close to shorelines. The coastal wetlands, river deltas, and swamps provided essential nursery grounds for many species, especially juvenile dinosaurs, small mammals, and reptiles. These environments were often hotbeds of competition and predation. The richness of late Cretaceous ecosystems can also be appreciated from fossil assemblages found in famous formations around the world, such as the Hell Creek Formation in North America or the Meverano Formation in Madagascar. These fossil beds reveal a mosaic of life, towering dinosaurs alongside early snakes, crocodilians, insects, and plants that together tell a story of intricate ecological interdependence and evolutionary arms races. One particularly important theme of the Late Cretaceous is the interplay between predators and prey, where evolutionary pressures influenced the adaptations of both. Dinosaurs sharpened their defenses, armor, speed, social behaviors, while predators honed their hunting strategies. This balance set the stage for varying degrees of competition and coexistence, and it was within this tapestry that some of the earliest large snakes began to emerge, capable of not just hunting small vertebrates, but occasionally tackling even dinosaur offspring or weakened individuals. Understanding this backdrop, the warmth of the climate, the vast diversity of plant and animal life, and the complex webs of interaction, is essential as we delve deeper into the evolutionary tale of snakes during the age of dinosaurs. The Late Cretaceous period was more than just an era of towering reptiles. It was a world of ceaseless change, ecological experimentation, and growing diversity that ultimately culminated in the dramatic End Cretaceous extinction event. As we move forward, preparing to explore how snakes rose amidst such formidable company, it helps to hold in mind the vivid picture of life on Earth as it was then. A planet humming with life, forms both large and small, a stage ripe for evolutionary innovation. In the chapters to come, we will journey through the evolutionary origins of snakes and their gradual yet impressive rise to becoming some of the most fascinating and sometimes giant serpents capable of preying on dinosaurs themselves. But before that, the story must begin in the breathtaking, sometimes harsh, but always vibrant ecosystems of the Late Cretaceous period. To understand the remarkable story of prehistoric snakes that once coexisted with dinosaurs, we must trace back to the very origins of snakes themselves, a tale that begins deep in the past, long before the Late Cretaceous epoch. Snakes, a group of legless reptiles, are part of the squamate lineage, which also includes lizards. Their evolutionary beginnings provide a fascinating glimpse into how these enigmatic creatures evolved from lizard-like ancestors to become specialized, limbless hunters widely diverse in form and habitat. The rise of snakes is rooted in the Mesozoic era, known colloquially as the Age of Reptiles, which lasted from approximately 252 to 66 million years ago. While the Late Cretaceous is famous for its towering dinosaurs, the evolutionary steps that led to snakes were already underway during the Jurassic and early Cretaceous periods. Fossils of the earliest snake-like reptiles have been uncovered dating back at least 150 million years, revealing a slow but steady progression from primitive ancestors towards the snake body plan we recognize today. One of the earliest known snakes is represented by genera such as Tortugas, Eophisworns. From the Middle Jurassic of the United Kingdom, known primarily from fragmentary vertebrae. Though diminutive, these fossils reveal anatomical adaptations significant to snake evolution, including elongated, narrow body shapes and reduced limb structures. Around this time, their morphology began shifting from that of typical lizards towards creatures capable of slithering efficiently through complex environments. In the early Cretaceous, approximately 100 million years ago, snake diversity began to increase. Several fossil finds in regions like North Africa and the Middle East showcase early snakes with varying degrees of limb reduction and body elongation. Importantly, some of these early snakes still retained vestigial hind limbs, small, rudimentary legs no longer used for locomotion, but providing critical clues for paleontologists studying their transition from lizards to snakes. The evolutionary pressures shaping early snakes were multifaceted. Many scientists propose that burrowing or semi-fossorial, underground lifestyles played a crucial role. By flattening and elongating their bodies, these reptiles could navigate narrow subterranean tunnels and leaf litter, accessing new food sources such as insects, small vertebrates, and eggs. The loss of limbs reduced drag, allowing efficient movement in confined spaces. This mode of life likely set the foundation for the later radiations of snakes into diverse habitats. Yet, other early snakes adapted to aquatic or semi-aquatic lifestyles. Fossil evidence from the Late Cretaceous suggests groups of primitive marine snakes evolved independently, reinforcing the versatility of this lineage. This diversity in ecological strategies established snakes as swift colonizers of different environmental niches. Another important evolutionary milestone was the development of flexible jaws, which many herpetologists consider crucial for snakes to subdue and consume prey larger than their heads. This innovation began emerging in basal snakes, enabling them to capture and swallow animals whole, an early adaptation that would become a defining characteristic of the group. By the late Cretaceous, snakes had already divided into several distinct lineages. Molecular clock studies, together with fossil data, suggest the early ancestors of modern families such as Colubridae, the largest snake family today, Boidae, boas, and Pythonidae, pythons, were emerging during or just before this period. These lineages displayed differences in size, ecological preferences, and hunting methods, signaling the beginning of the complex ecosystem roles snakes would eventually fill. Intriguingly, snake fossils from the late Cretaceous include some small forms that likely preyed on small vertebrates and possibly dinosaur hatchlings or eggs, hinting at ecological interactions predating those of giant serpents. These early snakes exemplify evolutionary experimentation as they navigated a world dominated by some of the largest animals ever to walk the earth. Aside from the physical adaptations, the expansion of flowering plants, angiosperms, during the Cretaceous also indirectly influenced snake evolution by altering ecosystems. The diversity of available habitats, increased insect populations, and new small vertebrates associated with these plants meant more varied prey opportunities for snakes. The late Cretaceous fossil record for snakes is fragmentary but increasingly rich, with discoveries in places like India, Africa, Europe, and North America. These fossils illuminate the gradual transition from small, ground-dwelling snakes into larger, more specialized forms that began to exist alongside dinosaurs of significant sizes. Some snakes may have occupied niche roles within the complex food webs, as ambush predators lying in wait near nests or burrows, or as active hunters patrolling forest floors. Understanding the evolutionary origins of snakes also raises interesting questions about their physiology and behaviors. For instance, how did sensory adaptations, such as heat-sensing pits or Jacobson's organ, which aids chemical detection in the environment, evolve during these early periods? While our fossil record preserves bones and some soft tissue impressions occasionally, much about the sensory biology of early snakes is inferred indirectly through studies of extant relatives and comparative anatomy. Throughout these early stages, a crucial evolutionary thread was the gradual increase in snake size, setting the stage for the giants that would later roam swamps and forests. While most early snakes remained small or moderately sized, the conditions of the Cretaceous world, abundant prey, warm climate, and diverse habitats, provided opportunities for exceptional growth in some species. In summary, the rise of snakes from their lizard ancestors was neither sudden nor straightforward. It was a long, intricate process marked by gradual body modifications, diverse ecological adaptations, and evolutionary experiments in locomotion and predation. By the twilight of the Cretaceous, snakes had already established themselves as versatile and cunning participants in ecosystems that included dinosaurs of all shapes and sizes. Moving onward, this evolutionary foundation enables us to explore how certain snake lineages grew to astounding lengths and strength, becoming some of the largest snakes ever to exist. These giants would not only coexist with the dinosaurs, but would also sometimes feed upon them, a relationship that showcases the complex and fascinating dynamics of prehistoric life. As we move further along the fascinating timeline of snake evolution, a striking transformation becomes apparent: the emergence of the world's first giant snakes. In a prehistoric arena dominated by towering dinosaurs, these serpents carved out a unique niche, growing to remarkable sizes that rivaled, even surpassed, many contemporaneous predators. Understanding how snakes evolved such prodigious dimensions in the midst of dinosaur-dominated ecosystems not only shines a light on their evolutionary biology, but also on the ecological dynamics shaping the Late Cretaceous and early Paleogene worlds. The transition from small and moderately sized early snakes to the colossal giants was not abrupt, but rather a gradual escalation fueled by a combination of environmental factors, evolutionary innovations, and ecological opportunities. The Mesozoic era, particularly the Late Cretaceous and into the Paleocene, provided a backdrop ripe for serpentine gigantism. One of the key factors driving snake gigantism during this period was the prevailing warm and stable climate. The Late Cretaceous and early Paleogene experienced what paleoclimatologists call greenhouse conditions: elevated global temperatures, high humidity, and extensive tropical rainforests and swampy wetlands. Such environments offered abundant resources and facilitated consistent metabolic performance in cold-blooded reptiles, as snakes are ectothermic and depend on environmental heat for physiological functions. Warm climates allowed snakes to maintain high activity levels and efficient digestion, prerequisites for supporting larger body sizes. Complementary to the climate was the availability of large prey. While dinosaurs had long been the dominant terrestrial vertebrates, their offspring, eggs and hatchlings, and smaller dinosaur species became potential targets for predatory snakes. The presence of relatively large prey could provide the caloric intake necessary for snakes to support increasing body mass. Furthermore, the diversity of available prey extended beyond dinosaurs to include crocodilians, fish, amphibians, and mammals, all serving to diversify the dietary palette of these early giants. Environmental niches such as swamps, river deltas, and dense rainforests became ideal habitats for large snakes. These settings offered abundant cover and stable prey populations, enabling ambush predation and energy-efficient hunting strategies. The dense vegetation also provided thermal shelter, creating microclimates crucial for temperature regulation in large-bodied ectotherms. Anatomically, several evolutionary innovations contributed to the increasing size of snakes. Foremost among these was the continued refinement of flexible jaws and highly kinetic skulls. Complex ligament and muscle arrangements allowed snakes to consume prey much larger than the diameter of their heads. This adaptation not only allowed the consumption of voluminous meals, but also capitalized on infrequent hunting successes, an advantage for sustaining larger bodies. Further, the vertebral column of snakes became increasingly specialized. With hundreds of articulated vertebrae and ribs, a long, flexible body could accommodate larger internal organs and permit locomotion across varied substrates, from water to dense forest floor. These anatomical traits were essential for supporting the structural demands of larger body mass while maintaining mobility. Examining the fossil record underscores these morpho-physiological trends. By the Paleocene epoch, shortly after the mass extinction at the end of the Cretaceous, snake species like Titanoboa cerrejonensis emerged, heralded as the largest snake ever discovered. Growing over 13 meters, more than 40 feet, long and estimated to weigh over a ton, Titanoboa dwarfed most contemporary predators, including many dinosaur species in their infant or juvenile stages. The appearance of such giants in post-dinosaur ecosystems signals a major ecological shift and an evolutionary success story for snakes adapting to new opportunities in a changing world. However, the path to such sizes was neither isolated nor free from competition. Large crocodyliforms and other apex predators shared similar habitats, exerting predation pressures and competing for overlapping resources. This competition likely influenced snake hunting strategies and possibly their nocturnal behavior or habitat preferences. Moreover, the gradual extinction of large non-avian dinosaurs opened new ecological niches that snakes, among other groups, could exploit, facilitating further growth in size and diversification. The evolutionary arms race between gigantic predators and their prey also spurred defensive adaptations in herbivorous dinosaurs and prey animals. Armor, speed, and social behaviors evolved in response to predation pressure, not only from other dinosaurs but potentially from opportunistic giant snakes capable of ambushing vulnerable young or injured animals. This interplay of offense and defense underscores the complexity and dynamism of prehistoric ecosystems. Beyond anatomical and ecological factors, genetics and developmental biology played an essential role, though the fossil record offers limited insights here. Modern studies suggest that shifts in gene expression related to growth factors and metabolism significantly influence body size regulation in reptiles. It is plausible that prehistoric snakes experienced similar genetic pathways that, combined with environmental stimuli, accelerated their gigantism. Notably, the gigantism phenomenon was not uniform across all snake lineages. While some species grew to extraordinary lengths, others remained relatively small, adapted to different niches, or constrained by habitat and resource limitations. This diversity in size and lifestyle among prehistoric snakes parallels what we observe in the vast array of snake species today. The emergence of giant snakes in a dinosaur-dominated world also highlights snakes' adaptability and evolutionary success. Despite existing alongside some of the most formidable creatures in Earth's history, snakes managed to grow, diversify, and occasionally prey upon dinosaurs and their kin. This remarkable journey from small burrowers to massive apex predators bridges the world of diminutive reptiles and colossal serpents, illustrating nature's capacity for innovation and resilience. In the following sections, we will delve deeper into specific examples of these prehistoric giants, uncovering their unique anatomies, habitats, and interactions with dinosaur contemporaries. We will explore fossil discoveries like Titanoboa in detail, examining how these creatures lived, hunted, and thrived in a prehistoric landscape dominated by ancient reptiles of every shape and size. For now, reflecting on the evolutionary and ecological drivers behind the rise of giant snakes enriches our appreciation of their place within the vast and vibrant mosaic of Mesozoic and early Cenozoic life. It is a story woven from heat, hunger, adaptation, competition, and ultimately survival amidst some of the Earth's most extraordinary creatures. The Late Cretaceous period and its transition into the Paleogene were epochs marked by an incredible diversity of life forms, many of which shared the landscape in intricate ecological balances. Among the most compelling narratives of this era is the coexistence of two seemingly disparate groups: the mighty dinosaurs and the emerging giant snakes, creatures of very different morphologies, ecologies, and evolutionary origins. This section explores the multifaceted relationship between these prehistoric titans, examining how snakes and dinosaurs not only shared the ecological stage, but also influenced each other's lives in profound ways. At first glance, snakes and dinosaurs might appear to occupy entirely separate ecological niches. After all, dinosaurs dominated terrestrial ecosystems often as gigantic megafauna, while snakes, at least initially, were considered more modest in size and influence. However, evolving research has revealed a more complex picture, wherein early snakes grew to substantial sizes and developed hunting strategies that brought them into regular contact, and sometimes direct conflict, with dinosaurs. The habitats of the Late Cretaceous were richly diverse, encompassing dense forests, sprawling wetlands, river systems, and coastal plains. These environments were populated by a range of dinosaur species, from herbivorous hadrosaurs and ceratopsians to predatory theropods, alongside snakes of various sizes and lineages, from small burrowers to the earliest giant serpents. The coexistence of these species involved both competition and predation, governed by the laws of survival and energy dynamics. Ecologically, large predatory dinosaurs occupied apex niches on land, preying upon herbivorous dinosaurs and occasionally smaller carnivores. Simultaneously, large snakes were often formidable ambush predators. In the complex ecosystems of the time, a giant snake's primary strategy was often to remain concealed, using stealth and sudden striking motions to overpower prey, which could include smaller dinosaurs, juvenile individuals, or dinosaur eggs. This ecological role set snakes apart as specialized predators within the broader predator-prey network. The interactions between snakes and dinosaurs were shaped by behavioral adaptations. For instance, many dinosaurs practiced nesting behaviors involving the concealment of eggs in nests, likely to decrease vulnerability to predators. Yet, some of the earliest direct fossil evidence, such as the discovery of the prehistoric snake, Sanajeh indicus, associated with dinosaur eggs, suggests that snakes exploited these nesting grounds, feeding on eggs and hatchlings. This directly implicated snakes as active participants in controlling dinosaur population demographics and influencing their reproductive strategies. Conversely, dinosaurs developed defense mechanisms not only against their primary predators, but potentially to mitigate predation from snakes as well. Nest guarding by some dinosaur species, the building of nests in secluded or difficult-to-access areas, and potentially group behaviors surrounding offspring may have been responses to the multifaceted pressures of predation, including those from serpents. Competition also extended beyond direct predation. Swamps and wetlands, the preferred habitat of many large prehistoric snakes, were shared with other formidable predators such as crocodile-like crocodyliforms and even large amphibians. Resources in these ecosystems, including access to prey and shelter, were finite, creating an environment of intense competition and ecological partitioning. Snakes' cold-blooded metabolism and energy-efficient hunting approaches may have offered them an advantage in such resource-scarce settings compared to warm-blooded or more energetically costly predators. Interestingly, the coexistence of large snakes and dinosaurs was not solely antagonistic. Dinosaurs contributed to the environment's complexity by shaping vegetation and soil composition through their grazing and trampling, which in turn affected the microhabitats that snakes used for cover and hunting. This indirect ecological interplay illustrates the highly interconnected nature of late Cretaceous ecosystems. Fossil evidence points toward temporal patterns of activity that facilitated coexistence. Large snakes may have been primarily nocturnal or crepuscular, the periods around dawn and dusk, capitalizing on times when some dinosaurs were less active or vulnerable. Such temporal partitioning reduces direct competition and enhances the likelihood of coexistence among diverse predators. Moreover, snakes' unique mode of locomotion, slithering, allowed them to access environments and prey inaccessible to larger, limb-bearing dinosaurs. Narrow crevices, dense undergrowth, and subterranean burrows could harbor small dinosaur hatchlings or eggs, making snakes effective in exploiting these niches. The climactic upheavals and eventual mass extinction at the Cretaceous-Paleogene boundary dramatically reshaped life on Earth, wiping out non-avian dinosaurs and many other groups. However, some giant snakes not only survived this event, but thrived in the post-dinosaur landscape, indicating their adaptability and success under changing conditions. Reflecting on this epoch, the clash between giant snakes and dinosaurs transcended simple predator-prey dynamics. It was a complex mosaic of camouflage, stalking, defense, competition, and coevolution. This multifaceted relationship underscores the flexibility of snakes as predators and their ecological ingenuity in thriving alongside some of the most dominant terrestrial vertebrates in Earth's history. As we proceed, the fossil record opens windows into this ancient coexistence, revealing not just isolated bones, but scenes frozen in time. Snakes entwined with dinosaur eggs or remnants of hatchlings, telling stories of life, survival, and the relentless interplay shaping prehistoric ecosystems. It is within this intertwined existence of giants that we find rich insights into evolution, adaptation, and the deep past of predator-prey relationships. Fossils serve as the silent storytellers of Earth's ancient past, whispering secrets about life forms long extinct, ecosystems that no longer exist, and interactions once thought unimaginable. Our understanding of prehistoric snakes that coexisted and even preyed upon dinosaurs has evolved dramatically thanks to a series of remarkable fossil discoveries. These finds have not only expanded our knowledge of snake diversity and size during the Mesozoic and early Cenozoic eras, but also challenged long-held views about predator-prey dynamics in those distant times. One of the earliest pivotal moments in unraveling this story came from the discovery of fossilized snake vertebrae and skull fragments that pushed back the timeline and diversity of snakes. Fossils from the Late Cretaceous and Paleogene periods revealed snakes far larger and more sophisticated than previously imagined, shedding light on forms that could have preyed on juvenile dinosaurs or scavenged dinosaur nests. This understanding came about gradually through meticulous excavation and advances in paleontological techniques. Among the most groundbreaking discoveries is the colossal Titanoboa cerrejonensis, unearthed in the Cerrejón coal mine of northeastern Colombia. Discovered in 2009, this snake's fossils changed the narrative about prehistoric snakes entirely. Titanoboa's massive vertebrae and skull fragments indicated a serpent that stretched over 13 meters, more than 42 feet, long, and weighed roughly 1,135 kilograms, about 2,500 pounds. As the largest snake ever documented, Titanoboa was far larger than any living snake, including the reticulated python or green anaconda. Its discovery revealed not only the existence of giant snakes surviving the dinosaur extinction event, but also the climatic conditions that supported such gigantism. Titanoboa's fossils also provided invaluable ecological context. They were found in a former tropical rainforest and swamp environment rich with fossilized plants, crocodilians, turtles, and fish species. This setting illustrated the warm, humid habitat conducive to sustaining such a large ectothermic predator. The analysis of associated fauna showed that Titanoboa was likely the apex predator of its ecosystem, offering new perspectives on post-dinosaur food webs. Complementing the story of large snakes was the extraordinary discovery of Sanajeh indicus in India, a smaller but ecologically significant snake from the Late Cretaceous. What truly set Sanajeh apart was the unique fossil assemblage that included the snake bones found alongside fossilized dinosaur eggs and hatchlings. These remains have provided compelling direct evidence linking prehistoric snakes to predation or scavenging of dinosaur nests. The Sanajeh fossils, uncovered in the Lametta Formation, show an adult snake positioned near a nest containing oviraptorid dinosaur eggs and newborns. The positioning suggests the snake was in the act of feeding or lurking, indicating behavioral patterns that extend far beyond speculation. This rare snapshot offered the first concrete glimpse into how some snakes actively preyed on vulnerable dinosaur offspring, revealing a predator-prey relationship previously only hypothesized from circumstantial evidence. In addition to these headline finds, a wealth of smaller and fragmentary fossils across continents continue to add depth to our understanding. Vertebrae from prehistoric snakes discovered in North Africa, South America, Europe, and Asia reveal a swath of lineages and sizes. Some of these fossils showcase specialized adaptations, such as reinforced vertebrae for supporting heavy musculature or unique jaw structures, indicative of strong feeding capabilities, that tell us about how these snakes hunted and survived in ecosystems saturated with large dinosaurs. One of the enduring challenges of studying prehistoric snakes is their often fragile and limited fossil record. Unlike the robust bones of dinosaurs, snake skeletons are composed of many small, delicate elements that seldom survive intact. Nevertheless, advances in imaging techniques such as computed tomography, CT, scanning, and 3D modeling have allowed paleontologists to reconstruct and analyze even fragmentary fossils in unprecedented detail. These technologies have elucidated skull morphology, vertebral articulation, and muscle attachment sites, enabling more accurate reconstructions of snake size, feeding mechanisms, and locomotion. Moreover, discoveries of coprolites, fossilized feces, have occasionally provided indirect but invaluable evidence of feeding habits. Some coprolites contain bone fragments belonging to small dinosaurs or other vertebrates, suggesting snakes at times consumed animal prey, including potentially dinosaur juveniles. These trace fossils expand our understanding of prehistoric food webs, revealing intimate details of snake diets that skeletons alone cannot provide. The increasing volume and quality of fossil evidence have also prompted debate and refinement in paleontological classification. Findings of snakes with combinations of primitive and derived characteristics challenge previously simplistic evolutionary trees and encourage reassessment of how snake lineages diversified in the Cretaceous and Paleozoic settings. Furthermore, exceptional fossil sites such as the Hell Creek Formation in North America, the Mevarano Formation in Madagascar, and the Jadokta Formation in Mongolia continue to be treasure troves not only for dinosaur fossils, but for associated fauna, including snakes. These formations provide rich stratigraphic contexts, allowing scientists to correlate snake fossils with contemporaneous dinosaur species and better understand their potential interactions. In essence, each new fossil discovery acts as a fragment of a vast puzzle, revealing a progressively detailed image of a world where snakes were not merely passive background inhabitants, but active and sometimes fearsome predators. The unearthing of Titanoboa and Sanajeh offers powerful bookends to this picture, from the giant apex predator to the cunning nest raider, demonstrating the breadth of snake ecological roles. As paleontologists unearth more fossils and apply cutting-edge technologies, our view of prehistoric ecosystems and the place of snakes within them continues to deepen and evolve. These discoveries not only enrich our understanding of snake evolution, but also illuminate the intricate dynamics of dinosaur ecosystems, a dance of cohabitation, rivalry, and survival that unfolded millions of years ago. In the chapters ahead, we will explore some of these fascinating creatures in more detail, offering insights into their habitats, behaviors, and the clues they left behind. For now, it is clear that fossil evidence has fundamentally transformed our comprehension of prehistoric snakes and their complex relationship with the dinosaurs they lived alongside and sometimes devoured. Among the titanic creatures that roamed the earth, one serpent stands out as a true giant, reshaping our understanding of prehistoric life and the limits of reptilian gigantism. This colossal creature, Titanoboa cerrejonensis, is the largest snake ever discovered, captivating scientists and the public alike with its sheer scale and biological significance. Unearthed from the depths of tropical rainforests that once covered South America, Titanoboa not only dominates the fossil record for snake size, but also offers profound insights into prehistoric climates, ecosystems, and the evolutionary trajectory of snakes. The discovery of Titanoboa was nothing short of extraordinary. In the early 2000s, paleontologists excavating the Cerrejón coal mines in the northern reaches of Colombia began uncovering massive fossilized vertebrae and jaw fragments unlike any snake seen before. Initial estimates of the snake's length quickly soared beyond all known limits, with the largest specimens reaching over 13 meters, about 42 feet, long. To put this into perspective, Titanoboa dwarfed the biggest living snakes today, such as the green anaconda and the reticulated python, which typically max out at lengths around 6 to 7 meters. But size alone did not make Titanoboa remarkable. Its anatomy bore fascinating clues about its lifestyle and habitat, shedding light on a prehistoric world vastly different from today's landscapes. The vertebrae of Titanoboa were extraordinarily robust and specialized, designed to support a powerful, muscular body capable of constricting large prey. This snake likely operated as an ambush predator within the extensive swampy rainforests that blanketed the Earth approximately 60 million years ago during the Paleocene epoch, shortly after the dinosaurs had vanished. Titanoboa's sheer size spoke volumes about the climate of its time. Bodies this large require warm ambient temperatures to maintain metabolic functions, since snakes are ectothermic animals. They rely on the external environment to regulate their body heat. The warm, humid conditions of the Paleocene tropics, which facilitated lush, dense rainforests, created the ideal setting for such gigantic reptiles to thrive. Indeed, scientists have used the estimated size of Titanoboa to infer that mean annual temperatures in its habitat were significantly warmer than present-day tropical environments, providing a unique paleo-environmental thermometer. The role of Titanoboa within its ecosystem was pivotal. As the apex predator in its niche, it would have controlled populations of large fish, turtles, crocodile-like reptiles, dinosaurids, and possibly small to medium-sized mammals. Its ability to subdue and swallow large-bodied prey without limbs made it a supremely efficient hunter. This snake's dominance in its watery, forested habitat paints a picture of a primeval world where serpents occupied ecological roles now largely held by crocodilians, large cats, or bears. Beyond the scientific community, Titanoboa captured the imagination of the public through documentaries, exhibits, and media coverage, symbolizing the incredible diversity and unpredictability of evolutionary paths. However, beneath its appeal as a prehistoric curiosity lies critical data about how life rebounds and diversifies after mass extinction events. Titanoboa lived during a time of recovery and radiation following the end Cretaceous extinction, showcasing the evolutionary experimentation that followed the dinosaurs' disappearance. In comparison to other prehistoric snakes, Titanoboa stands as the pinnacle of gigantism. But it was not an isolated case of giant serpents evolving in ancient times. The snake's discovery dovetails with other evidence of large-bodied snakes from disparate regions and times, painting a broader picture of snake evolution that includes impressive size increases as an adaptive response to ecological opportunities. Understanding Titanoboa also requires familiarity with the challenges snakes face in achieving such enormous sizes. Structural integrity, movement, respiration, and thermal regulation are all impacted when an animal reaches extraordinary dimensions. The robust vertebrae and muscular structure of Titanoboa suggest evolutionary solutions tailored to these challenges. Its morphology offers a glimpse into how these biological imperatives were met in the Paleocene world. Moreover, Titanoboa's place in the fossil record helps paleontologists trace the decline of large reptiles and the rise of mammals and birds in the Cenozoic. Its disappearance approximately 58 million years ago aligns with changing climatic conditions and ecosystem restructurings, illustrating the tight interdependence between physiology, environment, and evolution. As we delve deeper into Titanoboa's story, we will examine its habitat, potential prey, and the environmental factors that sustained such an extraordinary predator. Its legacy informs not just the history of snakes, but the broader narrative of life's adaptability and resilience following one of Earth's great extinction events. Thus, Titanoboa stands not merely as a fossil or an icon of snake gigantism, but as a testament to the complex interplay of climate, evolution, and ecological opportunity in shaping the very fabric of prehistoric life. Through it, we glimpse a world where snakes reached sizes and predatory prowess worthy of the most titanic creatures of their age. To truly understand Titanoboa, the largest snake ever discovered, one must journey back approximately 60 million years to the lush tropical world of the Paleocene epoch, long after the non-avian dinosaurs had vanished in the mass extinction event at the end of the Cretaceous. This snake did not emerge in isolation. Rather, it thrived within a complex and vibrant ecosystem, the Cerrejon Formation of modern-day Colombia. This formation paints a vivid portrait of an extensive swampy rainforest, a habitat teeming with life and temperature conditions ideal for supporting such a colossal reptilian predator. The Cerrejon coal mine, where Titanoboa fossils were found, offers an exceptional window into this ancient environment. The region was once dominated by enormous tropical rainforests, whose dense canopies and murky waterways bore little resemblance to modern landscapes. Predominantly warm and humid, these rainforests fostered a diversity of plants, including towering palms, early legumes, and dense understory vegetation. These plants formed the primary producers that formed the basis of an interwoven food web supporting a rich variety of fauna. Swamps and wetlands were especially abundant within this ecosystem. Slowly meandering rivers, marshes, and floodplains offered perfect habitats for amphibians, reptiles, fish, and countless invertebrate species. These aquatic and semi-aquatic environments were the playgrounds of Titanoboa. Its anatomy, robust vertebrae, muscular frame, and powerful constricting ability was exquisitely adapted for life within this warm, watery realm, where stealth and power combined to make it an apex predator. The Cerrejon fauna reflected a remarkable post-dinosaur extinction recovery. Although non-avian dinosaurs had disappeared from the landscape, many survivors and new arrivals dominated the scene. Crocodyliforms, close relatives and ecological competitors of Titanoboa, inhabited these wetlands, including large croc-like dinosaurids that likely vied for similar prey resources. These friendly rivals illustrate how ecosystems balance multiple apex predators within constrained niches. Fish were diverse and plentiful, forming a critical dietary component for large reptiles like Titanoboa. Fossil remains of lungfish, catfish, and giant freshwater rays testify to the abundance of aquatic prey. Furthermore, turtles, many with heavy dome-shaped shells, were common, further enriching the range of available meals. Titanoboa's formidable size allowed it to prey on adults of many such species, exerting a controlling influence on their populations. Beyond reptiles and fish, early mammals and birds had begun making inroads into this rainforest environment. Although relatively small compared to prehistoric dinosaurs or Titanoboa itself, mammals diversified into insectivores and small herbivores, occupying niche spaces in the ecosystem. Birds, too, were increasing in diversity, filling various ecological roles. Together, they contributed to the complexity of predator-prey and competitive interactions within this living mosaic. Visitors to this swampy rainforest would also have encountered other reptiles, including snakes of smaller sizes occupying distinct ecological niches. These snakes likely filled roles as insectivores or small vertebrate predators, showcasing the diversity of serpentine life in the Paleocene. The coexistence of such a variety of snakes alongside Titanoboa highlights the richness of evolutionary experimentation during this period. Climate played an indispensable role in shaping Titanoboa's habitat. Paleoclimatic reconstructions based on fossilized leaf morphology, isotopic analysis, and associated fauna indicate mean annual temperatures around 30 to 34 degrees Celsius, 86 to 93 degrees Fahrenheit, considerably warmer than today's tropical climates. Such heat, combined with high humidity, created an optimal environment for cold-blooded reptiles like Titanoboa to maintain their metabolic functions, digest large meals efficiently, and sustain active predatory behaviors. This optimal climate contrasts with that of modern large snakes today, which encounter more seasonal variations and cooler periods restricting their activity. Titanoboa's habitat, thus, represented a unique convergence of environmental conditions that pushed the boundaries of reptilian gigantism. The dramatic topography of this landscape was dominated by extensive peat bogs and coal-forming swamps, the very environments that preserved Titanoboa's fossils millions of years later. Shifting tectonics and sedimentation patterns helped create and preserve the perfect sedimentary conditions for fossilization, allowing us to glimpse this lost world with remarkable clarity. The dinosaurian inhabitants of this ecosystem are less diverse, owing to the mass extinction at the end of the Cretaceous. However, their ecological legacy lingered in the form of surviving or newly evolved archosaurs and other reptiles sharing the habitat. While large non-avian dinosaurs no longer roamed these swamplands, smaller dinosaurian relatives, including early birds, descended from theropods, along with other reptiles, occupied the canopy and forest floor, sharing space with Titanoboa. Understanding Titanoboa's habitat underscores the interdependence of climate, geography, and ecology in fostering evolutionary marvels. It was within these warm, swampy rainforests that evolutionary pressures aligned perfectly to allow the rise of the largest snake known to science, a true titan of the Paleocene jungles. As we proceed, we will examine more closely the dietary habits, hunting behaviors, and ecological interactions of Titanoboa within this verdant setting, further unveiling the fascinating dynamics between this giant serpent and the myriad creatures that shared its world. Within the fossil record of prehistoric snakes, one lineage stands out for its remarkable adaptations and potential ecological impact during the Mesozoic and early Cenozoic eras, the giant Pythonidae. Pythons, known today mostly for their considerable size and remarkable constricting abilities, trace their evolutionary roots deep into prehistoric times. Their ancestors, already inheriting key features of extant python species, were among the serpents that might have hunted alongside or directly upon dinosaurs, marking an extraordinary chapter in reptilian and dinosaurian interactions. The Pythonidae family encompasses some of the largest living snakes today, such as the reticulated python and Burmese python, both capable of subduing substantial prey. Fossil evidence indicates that their prehistoric relatives achieved enormous sizes as well, rivaling or even exceeding their modern descendants. These giant prehistoric pythons were equipped with powerful muscular bodies, intricate jaw mechanics, and flexible skull structures, enabling them to consume prey many times larger than their own head size. During the Late Cretaceous and Paleogene periods, environments favorable to large constrictors flourished. Tropical and subtropical forests, swamps, and riverine habitats offered an abundance of prey, ranging from fish and amphibians to mammals, birds, and notably, dinosaurs. Fossils attributed to early python relatives have been uncovered in parts of South America, Africa, and Asia, suggesting a wide geographic distribution and ecological versatility. One significant aspect of giant prehistoric pythons was their predatory strategy. Like their modern counterparts, these snakes employed constriction, a method of subduing prey without venom, wrapping muscular coils around the victim and exerting pressure to stop circulation and breathing swiftly. This technique is particularly effective against vertebrate prey, including juvenile or even adult dinosaurs, depending on the snake's size. Fossil evidence, while fragmentary, supports the hypothesis that giant pythons and their relatives preyed upon small to medium-sized dinosaurs, or their hatchlings and eggs. This is inferred not only from the size and shape of the snake fossils, but also from the contexts in which they were found, such as proximity to dinosaur nesting sites or juvenile remains. For example, sites in the Cretaceous deposits of India have yielded snake fossils alongside remains of smaller dinosaurs, hinting at an ecological connection. Pygmy and mid-sized hadrosaur nests, ceratopsian hatchlings, or small theropods could have been vulnerable targets for these giant serpents, especially given their ambush predation tactics, camouflaging within dense undergrowth or hiding beneath leaf litter. The coevolution of pythonid snakes and their dinosaur prey likely triggered selective pressures leading to defensive behavior and adaptations in dinosaurs. Increased nesting vigilance, choice of concealed nesting sites, and rapid growth rates in juveniles might have evolved as survival strategies against predation by snakes and other contemporaneous predators alike. Anatomically, prehistoric giant pythons display fascinating evolutionary innovations. Their vertebrae exhibit complex arrangements of muscle attachment points, allowing for enhanced strength and flexibility in constricting prey. Additionally, the articulation of their skull bones permitted extensive gape expansion, enabling the swallowing of prey with diameters wider than the snake's own head. Beyond constriction, sensory adaptations played a crucial role in hunting success. Like modern pythons equipped with heat-sensitive pits to detect the infrared signatures of warm-blooded prey, prehistoric relatives likely possessed early versions of these organs, aiding in locating young dinosaurs or mammals, especially in dim lighting conditions typical of dense forests or night. Moreover, the distribution of giant pythonidae overlapped with the range of several dinosaur taxa, leading to potential predator-prey interactions in diverse habitats, from floodplains to coastal forests. Some paleontologists speculate that these snakes controlled populations of small to mid-sized dinosaurs, influencing community structures and biodiversity. The eventual decline of many dinosaur groups at the end of the Cretaceous coincided with shifts in snake diversity and adaptations, allowing pythonids and other snakes to exploit new prey resources in changing ecosystems. This adaptive flexibility is evident as python relatives persisted and evolved into the large pythons found today in Africa, Asia, and Australia. Importantly, the giant prehistoric pythons exemplify the broader narrative of snakes evolving from modestly sized creatures into formidable predators capable of challenging the reign of dinosaurs. They occupy a unique position bridging the Mesozoic and Cenozoic ecological landscapes, revealing the complex tapestry of ancient food webs. As we continue exploring, we will encounter fascinating fossil discoveries illustrating these interactions in even richer detail, illuminating how giant pythonids and other snakes carved vital ecological roles in prehistoric Earth. Their legacy endures, compelling us to reconsider the evolutionary dynamics between serpents and dinosaurs within the ancient world's sprawling ecosystems. Among the most captivating discoveries illuminating the ancient relationship between snakes and dinosaurs is the fossil of Sanajeh indicus, a prehistoric snake whose remains have sparked a scientific sensation by providing direct and unprecedented evidence of snake predation on dinosaur offspring. Unearthed in India, this rare specimen has become a touchstone for understanding the complex and sometimes perilous interactions that unfolded in late Cretaceous ecosystems. Sanajeh indicus, which translates to ancient gape, referring to its jaw morphology, was a medium-sized snake approximately 2 to 3 meters in length. It lived roughly 66 to 67 million years ago during the Maastrichtian stage of the Late Cretaceous, a time teetering on the brink of the mass extinction that would mark the end of the non-avian dinosaurs. The genus belongs to an extinct lineage within Madtsoidae, a group widespread across Gondwanan continents that included both small and large snakes with constricting abilities. What elevated Sanajeh from an ordinary fossil find to a scientific sensation was the exceptional nature of the discovery site and its unique context. Found in the Lamita Formation of India, these snake fossils were intimately associated with the remains of oviraptorid dinosaur eggs and hatchlings. Oviraptorids were small to medium-sized bird-like theropod dinosaurs, famous for their nesting behaviors and care for their young. The preservation of Sanajeh bones within close proximity to dinosaur nests suggested a predatory or scavenging relationship previously only hypothesized, but never so concretely documented. The fossil assemblage included not only the snake skeleton, but also impressions of nesting materials, eggshell fragments, and bones of newly hatched dinosaurs. Arrangement and positioning suggested that Sanajeh was using its specialized jaw and body morphology to infiltrate nests, preying upon the vulnerable hatchlings and unhatched eggs. This provided rare behavioral context, offering a snapshot of trophic interactions frozen in geological time. Anatomically, Sanajeh's jaw had adaptations allowing it to open wide and manipulate prey effectively, a considerable advantage when feeding on relatively large or awkwardly shaped items such as eggs. Its vertebral structure supported powerful muscular constriction to subdue active hatchlings trying to escape. Furthermore, unlike modern snakes known for venom and sophisticated venom delivery systems, Sanajeh likely relied purely on constriction combined with stealth and ambush strategies. The discovery challenged previous assumptions that young dinosaurs were relatively free from snake predation due to the comparative sizes of early snakes. Sanajeh's association with nests unequivocally demonstrated that snakes were among the earliest vertebrate nest predators, influencing reproductive behaviors and nesting ecology among dinosaurs. This find also shed light on the paleogeography and faunal assemblages of the Indian subcontinent at the time. During the Late Cretaceous, India was an island drifting in the vast Indian Ocean, fostering unique ecosystems with both Gondwanan heritage and evolutionary novelties. Sanajeh's presence in this region highlighted the spread and diversification of madtsoid snakes across southern landmasses, contributing to a mosaic of predator-prey relationships that adapted to island biogeography. The revelation of snake-dinosaur nest predation provided a link between fossil morphology and behavior, opening new avenues for interpreting other fossil assemblages worldwide, where direct evidence of such interactions had remained elusive. It encouraged paleontologists to re-examine dinosaur nesting sites with a new lens, seeking subtler clues like tooth marks on eggshells, bite impressions on juvenile bones, or the remains of potential nest raiders. Subsequent research also explored the evolutionary implications of this discovery, suggesting that predator pressure from snakes and other small vertebrates may have been a selective force, encouraging nesting strategies such as concealed nests, colonial nesting, or parental guarding seen in later dinosaurs and modern birds. In popular science, Sanajeh indicus attracted attention not only for its role in unveiling ancient ecological dramas, but also as a testament to the intricate and often unexpected ways life forms interact. It occupies a vital chapter in the story of prehistoric life, one where snakes were not just background players but active hunters shaping the lives and survival of dinosaurs themselves. As we proceed, the tale of Sanajeh sets the stage for further examination of fossil remains that add texture and detail to the picture of snake-dinosaur encounters, deepening our grasp of their shared prehistoric world. The discovery of Sanajeh indicus, intertwined with fossilized dinosaur eggs and hatchlings, stands as one of the most extraordinary finds illuminating the intimate and sometimes perilous relationship between prehistoric snakes and dinosaurs. This remarkable assemblage not only opened a rare window into ancient behaviors, but also transformed the scientific community's understanding of predator-prey dynamics during the Late Cretaceous period. The Sanajeh fossils were uncovered in the Lametta Formation of central India, an area renowned for its rich repository of late Cretaceous terrestrial fossils dating back approximately 66 million years. While dinosaur nesting sites had been known from this region, the simultaneous preservation of snake remains in direct association with these nests was unprecedented. The snake fossils comprise cervical and dorsal vertebrae, as well as cranial fragments, providing intricate anatomical information about this extinct madzoid snake. What elevates this discovery is the contextual association of Sanajeh fossils with nests containing oviraptorid dinosaur eggs and the fragile bones of hatchlings. This proximity suggests that the snake was actively exploiting the nesting grounds, likely as a predator or scavenger, feeding on dinosaur embryos, eggs, or newly hatched young. The positioning of the fossils implies a scenario frozen in time, illuminating behaviors speculated from indirect evidence, but never before directly observed in the fossil record. Detailed analysis of Sanajeh's morphology reveals a jaw structure particularly well adapted to consuming eggs and constricting small prey. The snake's skull indicates an ability to open wide, facilitating the consumption of unhatched eggs, which, though relatively large compared to the snake's head, could be ingested whole thanks to its flexible jaw elements. Additionally, robust vertebral muscle attachments suggest powerful constriction abilities, enabling the subdual of active hatchlings attempting to evade predation. The nesting sites themselves were complex, constructed with nesting materials such as plant matter, and the eggs were arranged in dense clusters. These nests were likely guarded to some extent by parent dinosaurs, but the resilience and stealth of Sanajeh allowed it to infiltrate and exploit these vulnerable prey sources nonetheless. This behavior would have exerted significant evolutionary pressures, both on the snakes to improve hunting tactics and on dinosaurs to evolve defensive nesting behaviors. Further insights emerged from the study of eggshell fragments and hatchling bones, which showed evidence of bite marks consistent with snake predation. Such trace fossils provide direct evidence not only of predation, but also of the interaction levels between distinct species within ancient ecosystems. The significance of this find extends beyond behavioral ecology. It sheds light on geographic and evolutionary aspects. The Indian subcontinent during the Late Cretaceous was an island drifting northwards following its break from Gondwana, fostering unique faunal assemblages and evolutionary experiments. The presence of Sanajeh within this isolated landmass highlights the adaptability and radiation of madzoid snakes in Gondwanan-derived ecosystems, showcasing their role as early snake nest raiders. This discovery has encouraged paleontologists to reconsider the ecological dynamics of nests, traditionally thought to be mostly threatened by small mammals, birds, or large reptiles. The clear evidence of snake predation redefines the risks faced by dinosaur offspring and the importance of snakes in shaping dinosaur life histories. It also illustrates the deep evolutionary roots of nest predation behaviors that continue among modern snakes and other vertebrates. Moreover, the Sanajeh find has broader implications for understanding how behaviors observed in living snakes, such as predation on eggs or juveniles, have deep evolutionary precedents. This continuity underscores the impressive longevity of predatory strategies and ecological niches occupied by snakes through millions of years. As we delve deeper into the remarkable fossil record of prehistoric snakes, Sanajeh's discovery remains a scientific landmark, a direct, vivid glimpse into the ancient dance of predator and prey, uniting skeletal remains, behavior, and evolutionary narrative in a single fossilized moment. It stands as a testament to how ancient serpents, often overlooked as minor players, were potent forces capable of shaping the very survival of the dinosaur lineage. Exploring the feeding behaviors of prehistoric snakes offers extraordinary insights into how these remarkable reptiles interacted with their environment, and, intriguingly, with dinosaurs themselves. The Late Cretaceous and early Paleogene periods set the stage for snakes to evolve specialized hunting strategies and physiological adaptations that allowed some species to prey upon or scavenge dinosaur offspring, eggs, and even adult dinosaurs in rare cases. Understanding these behaviors not only deepens our knowledge of snake biology, but reshapes our perception of prehistoric ecosystems as dynamic and interwoven arenas of predator and prey. At the heart of prehistoric snake-feeding behavior was the evolutionary development of sophisticated constriction techniques. Unlike venomous snakes that subdue prey using toxins, many prehistoric snakes, including some large species related to extant boas and pythons, relied on muscular strength to immobilize prey. Constriction involved swiftly coiling around the prey, applying relentless pressure to incapacitate by halting circulation and respiration. This method was particularly effective against juvenile dinosaurs, or smaller species, which lacked the defensive capabilities of their larger relatives. The construction of hunting strategies by these snakes likely involved a combination of ambush predation and stealth. Dense prehistoric forests, swamps, and thickets provided perfect cover for snakes to conceal themselves. Using their sensitive detection systems, such as Jacobson's organ for chemical cues and primitive heat-sensing pits, snakes could locate vulnerable nest sites or dinosaurs weakened by illness or injury. Sanajeh indicus, a notable example of a late Cretaceous snake, demonstrated behavioral evidence pointing to nest raiding and feeding on dinosaur eggs and hatchlings. The snake's jaw mobility enabled it to consume eggs whole, breaking shells internally rather than externally crushing. This remarkable adaptation contrasts with modern predators that often use teeth or claws to open eggs, highlighting a refined feeding mechanism that advantageously minimized struggle and energy expenditure. For larger prehistoric snakes such as Titanoboa, feeding behaviors scaled up considerably. The immense size and muscular power of Titanoboa meant it could have preyed on large vertebrates inhabiting swampy terrains, including fish, crocodile-like reptiles, and potentially juvenile or weakened dinosaurs. Titanoboa's feeding method involved overpowering prey through muscular constriction, a slow but effective process that allowed it to capture animals too large for other tropical predators to manage. Fossil evidence also suggests these snakes were capable of ingesting prey whole due to highly kinetic skull and jaw bones connected by ligaments, allowing significant flexibility and expansion. This trait allowed them to consume prey items much larger in diameter than their head, a feat impossible for most predatory vertebrates. Ingesting whole prey offered energetic benefits, allowing snakes to endure long periods without food and capitalize on occasional large meals. Some prehistoric snakes were likely opportunistic feeders, scavenging on carcasses left by other predators or consuming eggs and juveniles during vulnerable periods. This feeding versatility may explain their survival and diversification during the turbulent transitions of the Late Cretaceous extinction events. Additionally, comparative studies of modern snakes provide analogs for interpreting prehistoric feeding behaviors. For instance, the green anaconda demonstrates both aquatic and terrestrial hunting prowess, striking silently and quickly before constricting prey ranging from fish to caimans and capybaras. Similarly, prehistoric snakes likely used similar mixed habitat strategies, exploiting rivers, wetlands, and forests to find diverse prey. In sum, prehistoric snake feeding behaviors encompassed a wide array of techniques finely tuned through millions of years of evolution. Their ability to hunt, ambush, constrict, and consume dinosaurs, primarily their young or the eggs, speaks to an intricate ecological partnership. Rather than simply coexisting with dinosaurs, these snakes actively shaped dinosaur populations and behaviors through predation. As we continue to uncover fossil evidence and refine our understanding, the feeding behaviors of prehistoric snakes serve as a fascinating testament to nature's adaptability and evolutionary innovation during an age ruled by giants. This knowledge sets the stage for deeper exploration into the anatomical adaptations, most notably the jaw and skull morphology that enabled snakes to swallow such enormous prey whole, a subject we will explore in the upcoming section. The remarkable ability of snakes to consume prey much larger than their own heads is one of the most fascinating evolutionary adaptations in the animal kingdom. This capacity, enabling prehistoric snakes to swallow sizable dinosaur eggs, hatchlings, and even moderately sized dinosaur prey, hinges upon a series of anatomical innovations primarily centered around the jaw structure and skull mobility. These adaptations, refined over millions of years, underpin how snakes conquered ecological niches that required extraordinary feeding mechanics. Unlike most vertebrates whose jaws are rigidly fused to the skull, snakes exhibit cranial kinesis, a flexible arrangement allowing movement between various skull bones. This flexibility permits enormous gape expansion, enabling a snake to engulf prey far exceeding the dimensions of its head. In prehistoric snakes, this characteristic was particularly well developed, accommodating their often large body sizes and the necessity to handle dinosaurian prey. At the heart of this mobility is a unique set of bony and ligamentous features. The lower jaw is not a single rigid bone, but comprises two mandibular bones, the left and right dentaries, connected at the front by an elastic ligament rather than fused. This ligament allows the bones to spread apart sideways, effectively widening the mouth's opening around the prey. High-resolution studies of fossilized jawbones show evidence of specialized articular surfaces that indicate extensive movement was possible in prehistoric species, perhaps even more so than in many modern snakes. Additionally, the quadrate bone, which connects the lower jaw to the skull, was elongated and highly mobile in prehistoric snakes. This enhancement provided both a pivot point and an extended lever arm, increasing the gape and amplifying mechanical advantage during prey ingestion. Such an adaptation meant prehistoric snakes could. Delving into the diet of prehistoric snakes and their interactions with dinosaurs reveals a captivating tapestry of ancient predation, where various snake species exploited a range of dinosaur prey of different sizes and developmental stages. While the popular imagination often envisions colossal snakes swallowing fully grown dinosaurs, the reality, illuminated by fossil evidence and ecological reasoning, paints a nuanced picture of the complex relationships between these reptiles and their dinosaurian counterparts. During the Late Cretaceous and early Paleogene periods, dinosaur populations were diverse, ranging from enormous herbivores with specialized defenses to small, nimble theropods and vulnerable hatchlings. Prehistoric snakes, varying in size from modest to gigantic, targeted prey according to their own physical capabilities and hunting strategies, leading to a gradation of dinosaur prey types primarily skewed towards smaller or juvenile dinosaurs. Nest predation by snakes played a significant role in shaping dinosaur population dynamics. Smaller snakes like Sanajeh indicus, whose fossils were found close to dinosaur nests in India, likely specialized in raiding nests to consume dinosaur eggs and vulnerable hatchlings. These eggs, often several centimeters in diameter, offered nutrient-rich meals that fueled snake metabolism, while the hatchlings' soft, undeveloped bones made them susceptible to predation. This predation pressure likely influenced nesting behaviors in dinosaurs, such as nest concealment, guarding, or colonial nesting arrangements. Snakes that reached larger sizes, such as members of the giant Pythonidae lineage, expanded their predation scope to include juvenile dinosaurs capable of moving beyond the nest but not yet fully grown. These snakes, with powerful muscular systems and advanced jaw mechanics, could subdue small to medium-sized dinosaurs, including fledgling ceratopsians, hadrosaurs, and small theropods. The constriction method sufficed to immobilize these prey, and the skull flexibility allowed swallowing relatively large animals whole. The evidence for these interactions is also corroborated by bite marks on fossilized bones, occasionally found in juvenile dinosaur remains, and the proximity of snake fossils to dinosaur nesting sites and juvenile remains. This co-occurrence suggests active hunting or opportunistic scavenging, ranging from stealthy predation to carrion consumption. While it is less likely that snakes preyed upon fully grown large dinosaurs, given the immense size disparity and defensive adaptations of the latter, some gigantic snakes like the Paleocene Titanoboa could have posed a threat to adult dinosaurs of moderate size or to injured and weakened individuals. Titanoboa's large body size and immense constriction power imply the capability to capture sizable creatures, including crocodilians and large fish, as well as juvenile dinosaurs or other reptiles inhabiting swampy regions. However, direct fossil evidence of adult dinosaur predation by snakes remains limited. Moreover, the dietary breadth of prehistoric snakes extended beyond dinosaurs. Many snake species exploited a versatile range of prey, including mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles, and aquatic animals, an opportunistic strategy that enhanced survival amid the changing faunal composition post-dinosaurs. This adaptability helped snake lineages persist and diversify after the mass extinction that closed the Cretaceous. Understanding the size limitations in prey selection is crucial. Snakes are constrained by the physical challenge of swallowing prey larger than their maximum gape allows, which, although impressive in snakes, still presents a limit. As such, juveniles and small dinosaurs presented a feasible, energetically profitable target, integrating snakes into the food web as significant vertebrate predators. In summary, prehistoric snakes primarily targeted dinosaur eggs, hatchlings, and juveniles, exerting ecological influences that shaped dinosaur life strategies and community structures. Occasionally, giant snakes might have preyed upon or scavenged moderately sized dinosaurs or other reptiles within their habitats. These interactions exemplify the intricate predator-prey dynamics that defined prehistoric ecosystems and underscore the evolutionary innovations snakes developed to capitalize on these ancient opportunities. As we further examine the ecological networks of the past, the types and sizes of dinosaur prey consumed by snakes stand as a testament to the adaptability and ecological success of these fascinating reptiles, weaving together the chapters of survival, predation, and coevolution in a world long vanished yet vividly recoverable through the fossil record. In the intricate tapestry of prehistoric ecosystems, the interactions between predators and prey, formed dynamic, interdependent relationships that shaped biodiversity, evolutionary pathways, and the structures of ancient food webs. The Late Cretaceous and early Paleogene intervals, featuring both colossal dinosaurs and emergent giant snakes, present an exceptional context to explore these ecological complexities. Far from isolated entities, these creatures engaged in a myriad of interactions, predation, competition, scavenging, that together crafted the ancient ecosystems they inhabited. The role of snakes, particularly the giant prehistoric serpents, within these food webs was multifaceted. Positioned often as meso to apex predators, snakes like Titanoboa or giant Pythonidae coexisted among a host of other formidable creatures, including large theropods, crocodyliforms, early mammals, and avian species. These interactions were shaped not solely by direct predation, but also by competition for resources, spatial partitioning, and adaptive responses to shared environmental conditions. Predation formed the cornerstone of these interactions. Giant snakes employed ambush tactics, capitalizing on stealth and muscular constriction, enabling them to capture a range of prey, from fish and turtles to juvenile dinosaurs and smaller crocodyliforms. Their slow, deliberate method of attack contrasts with the active hunting strategies of carnivorous dinosaurs, creating a fascinating dichotomy in predatory techniques that allowed niche differentiation and reduced direct competition. Concurrently, large predatory dinosaurs like Tyrannosaurus rex, dromaeosaurs, and other theropods preyed upon various herbivorous dinosaurs and occasionally smaller carnivores. Interestingly, this predatory pressure on similar prey bases may have indirectly influenced the behavior, population dynamics, and evolutionary responses of snakes as well, fostering strategies to evade larger predators and exploit less contested resources. Competition extended beyond dietary overlap. For instance, crocodiliforms and large snakes shared habitats such as swamps and river deltas, where food resources, shelter, and breeding grounds were limited, triggering spatial and temporal niche partitioning. Crocodiliforms, capable of both terrestrial and aquatic predation, possibly competed with snakes for fish and other aquatic prey, while their differences in physiology and hunting styles enabled coexistence. Early mammals and birds added further layers to this ecological web. While generally smaller and less dominant than reptiles, they occupied vital roles as insectivores, small vertebrate predators, and scavengers, subtly influencing prey populations and competition balances. Their increasing diversification during and after the dinosaur extinction opened new niches and adjusted community structures, indirectly affecting snake and dinosaur interactions. Scavenging behaviors likely played an overlooked but important role. Both snakes and dinosaurs might have opportunistically fed on carrion, taking advantage of scarce but nutrient-rich resources. Coprolites and gut contents suggest that prehistoric snakes consumed a variety of prey, occasionally including remains of deceased dinosaurs or other vertebrates, highlighting their dietary flexibility. Defense and avoidance strategies among prey species further complicated these interactions. Herbivorous dinosaurs evolved armor, speed, and social behaviors such as herding to mitigate predation risks. These adaptations also influenced snake behavior. For example, the need to exploit vulnerable juveniles or eggs led to the evolutionary success of nest raiding in snakes. Similarly, nocturnal or crepuscular activity patterns in snakes might have developed in response to temporal gaps in predator activity. Environmental factors such as climate, vegetation type, and geography heavily influenced predator-prey dynamics by shaping habitat structures and resource availability. Tropical and subtropical swamps and rainforests, rich in both structural complexity and biodiversity, favored ambush predators like giant snakes, while open floodplains accommodated faster-running dinosaurs. Together, these factors created highly interconnected food webs where energy flowed through multiple channels, and species adapted continuously to evolutionary pressures. Snakes and dinosaurs, though vastly different morphologically and behaviorally, were deeply enmeshed in these ancient food webs, each influencing the other's evolutionary trajectory. By examining fossil evidence, such as bite marks on bones, fossilized nests with predator remains, gut contents, and coprolites, scientists have begun reconstructing these complex ecological networks, uncovering the nuanced roles snakes played beyond mere coexistence. As predators, prey, competitors, and scavengers, prehistoric snakes acted as pivotal agents sculpting biodiversity. As we journey further, we will explore aspects of juvenile dinosaur vulnerability, direct fossil evidence of interactions, and how the ancient food webs evolved amidst climatic and geological changes. This ongoing exploration emphasizes the delicate balance and relentless ecological dance that characterized a vanished world where snakes and dinosaurs shared life and death in a complex prehistoric symphony. The vulnerability of juvenile dinosaurs to predation stands as a critical component in understanding the intricate ecological dynamics of the Late Cretaceous and early Paleogene periods. Among the many threats faced by young dinosaurs, prehistoric snakes played a significant and sometimes underestimated role as predators and nest raiders. This interaction between giant serpents and juvenile dinosaurs reveals much about survival strategies, evolutionary pressures, and the delicate balance of ancient ecosystems. Juvenile dinosaurs, by their very nature, were inherently susceptible to a range of predators. Newly hatched or recently fledged individuals lacked the size, speed, armor, and defensive behaviors characteristic of their adult counterparts. Their small bodies, soft, underdeveloped bones, and dependence on parental care or protection rendered them prime targets for ambush predators lurking in the shadows. In this regard, snakes, a group constantly diversifying and rising in size and sophistication, found ample opportunity to exploit the niche of predating on the young and vulnerable. Fossil evidence from sites such as the Lametta Formation in India, where the snake Sanajeh indicus was discovered near dinosaur nests, provides direct glimpses into this predator-prey relationship. These snakes, approximately 2 to 3 meters long, were capable of infiltrating nesting grounds and consuming eggs and hatchlings. Their slender bodies, flexible jaws, and constricting abilities enabled them to efficiently prey upon juvenile dinosaurs with minimal risk to themselves. The ecological implications extend beyond singular predation events. Sustained pressure from snake predation on eggs and juveniles likely influenced dinosaur reproductive behaviors and offspring survival strategies. Nest placement, nesting density, incubation periods, and parental guarding are thought to have evolved in response to such threats. For example, some dinosaur species may have developed more concealed nests or engaged in communal nesting to deter predators. Besides direct nest predation, juvenile dinosaurs were vulnerable during their initial forays away from nests. Movement through dense prehistoric vegetation, wetlands, or riverine environments exposed them to ambush by larger snakes, like members of the giant Pythonidae or Titanoboa's predecessors. The capacity of some snakes to employ heat-sensing pits, a trait believed to be present in prehistoric lineages, would have provided a key advantage in locating warm-blooded juveniles even under cover or during low light. The risk juvenile dinosaurs faced from snakes also connected to their behavior and social structures. Species exhibiting herd formation or group guarding likely reduced individual vulnerability, as multiple eyes and vigilance can deter predation. In contrast, solitary or less social species might have suffered higher juvenile mortality from snake predation. This predator-prey dynamic framed an evolutionary arms race. As snakes refined their hunting techniques and sizes grew larger, juvenile dinosaurs, in turn, adapted with defensive traits such as spines, speed, camouflage, and rapid growth rates to outpace risks associated with predation. Furthermore, the presence of snakes as juvenile predators highlights how vertebrate food webs were intricately layered, with predation pressures operating at multiple life stages, shaping population structures and ecological communities. This multidimensional predation influenced not only survival rates, but potentially impacted evolutionary pathways by selecting for traits beneficial in early life defense and survival. In sum, juvenile dinosaurs' vulnerability to prehistoric snake predators underscores a key aspect of ancient ecosystems, a complex dance of survival where even the most massive creatures began life at the mercy of smaller, agile predators. Our growing understanding of this relationship, fueled by fossil discoveries and ecological modeling, allows us to reconstruct these ancient life histories with ever greater clarity. In the next chapter, we will examine fossil case studies that provide unambiguous evidence of snake-dinosaur encounters, further illuminating these captivating interactions preserved through deep time. Among the myriad questions that fascinate paleontologists and dinosaur enthusiasts alike is whether prehistoric snakes actively preyed upon dinosaurs, and if so, how these encounters unfolded in the deep past. Direct fossil evidence illuminating interactions between these formidable reptilian groups is rare and precious, offering invaluable snapshots of predator-prey dynamics preserved through millions of years. Several fossil case studies stand out as remarkable records of these ancient engagements, each shedding light on the complex ecological relationships between snakes and dinosaurs. Perhaps the most iconic example comes from the discovery of Sanajeh indicus in the Late Cretaceous deposits of India's Lamita Formation. The fossilized remains include snake vertebrae and cranial elements found intimately associated with clusters of oviraptorid dinosaur eggs and the delicate bones of recently hatched individuals. This fossil assemblage provides compelling, almost cinematic evidence of a snake lurking near or inside a dinosaur nest, likely preying on the unhatched eggs or hatchlings. The spatial arrangement of the fossils suggests active nest raiding, a behavior corroborated by the snake's jaw morphology, adapted for swallowing eggs whole. This find is one of the earliest direct proofs of a snake-dinosaur interaction, changing previous assumptions that snake predation on dinosaur offspring was only speculative. Another remarkable case comes from the Paleocene epoch, shortly after the mass extinction that ended the reign of non-avian dinosaurs, where the enormous Titanoboa cerrejonensis fossils were recovered in Colombia's Cerrejón Formation. While no direct evidence of Titanoboa preying on dinosaurs has been found, the size and habitat of this giant snake suggest it overlapped with the last surviving dinosaur relatives and other vertebrates. The sheer magnitude of the snake's vertebrae and jaw fragments indicates the ability to capture large prey, possibly including juvenile dinosaurs or other sizable reptiles within its lush tropical swamp environment. In North America's Hell Creek Formation, though mainly known for its dinosaur fossils like Tyrannosaurus rex and Triceratops, researchers have occasionally uncovered snake vertebrae within the same stratigraphic layers. While direct predation evidence is lacking, the co-presence of snakes and diverse juvenile dinosaur fossils hints at a potential ecological overlap. Bite marks on juvenile dinosaur bones found in these formations might be explored in future studies to uncover possible snake involvement. Fossilized coprolites, ancient feces, have also contributed to piecing together snake-dinosaur relationships. Some coprolites discovered in regions formerly inhabited by ancient snakes contain bone fragments and eggshell debris consistent with dinosaurian origin. These trace fossils provide indirect but concrete evidence that snakes consumed eggs, hatchlings, or even carcasses of dinosaurian fauna, demonstrating their place in the ancient trophic webs. In Australia's Madsoidae fossil record, several mid-sized snakes display wear patterns on their teeth and vertebrae compatible with eating tough prey, likely including small dinosaurs or their juveniles. Though direct fossil associations are elusive, biomechanical analyses of these fossils support predation behaviors on similarly sized or juvenile dinosaurs. Collectively, these fossil case studies emphasize the evolutionary interplay between snakes and dinosaurs. They reveal snakes not only as scavengers or incidental cohabitants, but as active predators influencing dinosaur reproductive success and population dynamics. Each new discovery adds to a growing picture. Snakes were vital components of prehistoric ecosystems, exerting selective pressures on dinosaurs and shaping ancient biodiversity. As paleontological techniques advance, through enhanced CT scanning, geochemical analysis, and meticulous fieldwork, the clarity and frequency of such direct evidence continue to improve. These findings inspire a profound appreciation for the deep, intertwined histories of these reptiles, affording us glimpses into a Mesozoic and early Cenozoic world where snakes and dinosaurs not only coexisted, but engaged in a timeless dance of survival, predation, and adaptation. In the forthcoming sections, we will look even further into the secrets preserved beyond bones, in fossilized gut contents and coprolites, and uncover how they deepen our understanding of ancient diets and feeding behaviors. Such insights extend the narrative from static fossils to living ecosystems of the past, where every creature played a critical role in the balance of life. Deep within fossilized remains, beyond the structure of bones and teeth, lie some of the most revealing clues about the lives and diets of prehistoric creatures: gut contents and coprolites. These extraordinary sources of evidence provide direct windows into the feeding behaviors of ancient animals, including the elusive interactions between prehistoric snakes and their dinosaur prey. By studying what these animals consumed, scientists have gleaned detailed insights into ancient ecosystems, dietary preferences, and predator-prey dynamics that bones alone cannot convey. Gut contents refer to the remnants of prey found within the abdominal cavities of fossilized animals, preserved often as partially digested remains. Though such preservation is rare and requires exceptional fossilization conditions, several instances involving prehistoric snakes and their prey have been documented. These finds confirm that some ancient snakes were capable of swallowing surprisingly large prey items whole, including juvenile dinosaurs and their eggs, showcasing the mechanical prowess and biological adaptations that enabled this behavior. Coprolites, or fossilized feces, offer complementary evidence. These mineralized remnants capture what was ingested and partially digested, occasionally containing recognizable fragments of bone, scales, hair, or eggshells. In relation to prehistoric snakes, coprolite analyses have revealed bone fragments consistent with small dinosaur species and eggshell pieces, indicating that snakes did not solely consume small vertebrates like fish or mammals, but actively preyed upon or scavenged dinosaurian offspring. One fascinating discovery comes from coprolites linked to large Paleocene snakes resembling Titanoboa. Chemical and microscopic examinations of these coprolites reveal high concentrations of crushed bone and turtle shell fragments, alongside small crocodyliform remains, offering a direct indication of dietary diversity. This evidence implies that these giant snakes were apex predators, exerting significant influence on varied animal populations, including those of dinosaurian descendants and other vertebrates. In addition to confirming dietary breadth, gut contents and coprolites allow reconstruction of ancient food webs and predator-prey relationships. They help identify which animals served as key prey, the prevalence of scavenging behavior among snakes, and seasonal or ecological variations in diet. For example, the presence of eggshell fragments suggests seasonal feeding on dinosaur nests when eggs were abundant, while scattered bone fragments may imply opportunistic consumption of carcasses. Beyond prey identification, the analysis of such biological residues opens pathways to understanding digestion physiology and metabolism in prehistoric snakes. The degree of bone fragmentation or presence of undigested food can inform on digestive efficiency, feeding frequency, and metabolic rates, all critical to reconstructing the life history of these ancient serpents. Additionally, advances in geochemical techniques, such as isotopic analysis and scanning electron microscopy, have enhanced the resolution of these studies. These methods reveal microscopic wear patterns, chemical signatures, and even traces of soft tissue or proteins, enriching our understanding of prehistoric snake diets in unparalleled detail. Together, gut contents and coprolites forge an intricate narrative about prehistoric snakes as active, versatile predators deeply embedded in the ecosystems of their time. They reveal a world in which snakes could dominate food chains, confront dinosaur offspring, and exploit a range of prey using evolutionary innovations that continue to astound. As we delve into further evidence, moving beyond fossilized remains to interpretations of paleo-environmental conditions and interactions, this foundation from biological residues guides us in constructing a comprehensive picture of prehistoric life, where snakes and dinosaurs engaged in complex, intertwined destinies. The story of prehistoric snakes, especially the towering giants that grew to astounding sizes during the Cretaceous and Paleogene periods, cannot be separated from the environmental context in which they thrived. The rise of apex serpents, gigantic snakes that reigned supreme in their ecosystems, was intimately tied to the prevailing climates, geographical configurations, and habitat characteristics of their time. Understanding these factors is essential to appreciate how such extraordinary creatures evolved and flourished alongside, and sometimes by preying upon, dinosaurs. During the Late Cretaceous through the Paleocene epochs, Earth's climate was generally warmer and more equable than today, characterized by greenhouse conditions with little to no polar ice caps. These elevated global temperatures fostered the proliferation of extensive tropical and subtropical forests, swamps, and floodplains across many continents. Such habitats proved ideal for ectothermic animals like snakes, which rely on external heat sources to regulate their metabolism and activity levels. Geographically, this era witnessed dynamic continental movements as the supercontinent Pangaea had long since fragmented, but continents were still drifting towards their present positions. South America was an isolated landmass, covered in vast rainforests and swampy lowlands, parts of which are now represented by the Cerrejon Formation in northern Colombia, home to the legendary Titanoboa. Meanwhile, the Indian subcontinent drifted northward as an isolated island surrounded by ocean, hosting unique fauna such as Sanajeh in its late Cretaceous deposits. These geographical configurations created biogeographical realms where snake lineages could radiate, evolve specialized traits, and reach astonishing sizes without the pressures of competition or predation found in more interconnected landscapes. The warm and humid paleoclimate facilitated high primary productivity. Dense vegetation and diverse plant life produced abundant food resources supporting rich food webs. This biodiversity created ample opportunities for large snakes to exploit various prey, from aquatic organisms in floodplain waters to juvenile dinosaurs and other terrestrial vertebrates. The combination of abundant prey and favorable thermal conditions allowed ectothermic reptiles to maintain high metabolic rates, grow larger, and sustain energy demands associated with predation and reproduction. Swamps, dense rainforests, rivers, and wetlands, such as those that characterized the Paleocene Serrejon rainforest, created structural complexity in the environment. Such habitats provided shelter, ambush sites, and aquatic pathways crucial for large serpents hunting strategies. The ability of snakes to move seamlessly between terrestrial and aquatic settings offered them a remarkable advantage in exploiting diverse prey and avoiding direct competition. Their limbless, elongated bodies enabled navigation through tangled root systems, murky waters, and thick vegetation far more flexibly than many other large vertebrate predators. In these paleo environments, apex serpents occupied niches akin to those held today by crocodilians or large mammalian carnivores. However, unlike warm-blooded predators, snakes relied on external heat and energy-efficient physiological traits to dominate their ecosystems. Their position at the top of food chains, particularly following the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction, which wiped out many large dinosaurs, underscored their evolutionary success. The geographical isolation of some regions also encouraged endemic evolution. In India, for example, the unique faunal assemblages and island environmental pressures may have promoted peculiar snake-dinosaur interactions not found elsewhere, exemplified by discoveries of Sanajeh indicus near dinosaur nesting sites. Similarly, South America's extensive wetland systems nurtured other snake lineages that evolved gigantism independently. Paleobotanical records from these periods highlight how plant communities shaped habitats. The rise of angiosperms, flowering plants, transformed ecosystems, offering new food chains and shelter options. These changes influenced the distribution and behavior of herbivorous dinosaurs, which in turn affected the availability and types of prey for large snakes. Moreover, the dense understories and canopy stratification created microhabitats suited for different snake hunting techniques, from active pursuit to sit-and-wait ambush. Climate fluctuations within these broader warm periods, such as brief cooling events or changes in precipitation patterns, may have further driven evolutionary pressures. Snakes had to adapt to shifts in habitat extent, prey availability, and competition, leading to variations in size, behavior, and diversity. The fossil records sometimes capture these transitions, illustrating how apex snakes rose, diversified, and occasionally waned in response to environmental change. Collectively, these climatic and geographic factors crafted a world where snakes could push biological limits. Their evolutionary journey, from small burrowers to gigantic predators capable of rivaling some non-avian dinosaurs in size, was molded by the interplay of temperature, habitat complexity, and isolation. This understanding enhances our perspective on why snakes thrived in certain regions and periods, offering a framework to interpret fossil evidence and modern snake biogeography. As we move forward, this environmental backdrop sets the scene for examining ecological competitors to these apex serpents, their evolutionary arms races with dinosaur prey, and how these ancient dynamics ripple into the legacy of snakes we observe today. In the ancient landscapes where prehistoric snakes roamed alongside dinosaurs, these serpents were not solitary figures at the top of the food chain. They shared their environment with a host of formidable competitors and threats. Understanding the relationships between snakes, crocodiliforms, mammals, and other predators enriches our comprehension of ancient ecosystems and the evolutionary pressures that shaped the lives of these animals. It was a complex world of constant struggle for resources, territory, and survival. one that forged the adaptations and behaviors we observe in both extinct and extant species today. Crocodyliforms, an ancient lineage that includes modern crocodiles and their extinct relatives, were among the primary competitors and threats to large prehistoric snakes. These semi-aquatic reptiles had existed since the late Triassic, and by the late Cretaceous, they occupied a wide range of ecological niches in freshwater and coastal environments. With their powerful jaws, armored skin, and acute hunting abilities, crocodyliforms were apex predators in many habitats, fiercely competing for aquatic and terrestrial prey. Their diets overlapped to a significant extent with those of large snakes like Titanoboa and prehistoric pythons, including fish, turtles, amphibians, and small to medium-sized vertebrates. The competition was particularly intense in swampy and riverine environments, where hiding spots and prey were limited. Crocodyliforms might have indirectly influenced snake hunting strategies, driving snakes to exploit different temporal or spatial niches, such as nocturnal hunting or deeper forest habitats. Moreover, crocodyliforms themselves posed a tangible threat to snakes, especially the smaller or juvenile individuals. Fossil evidence suggests interactions ranging from competition to predation, with large crocodyliforms capable of preying upon snakes when the opportunity arose. This predator-prey dynamic created a balance, maintaining biodiversity and evolutionary pressures on both groups. Mammals, though often overshadowed by large reptiles in prehistoric accounts, played an important role in these ecosystems as both competitors and occasional predators. Early mammals were generally small, but rapidly diversified in the late Cretaceous and Paleogene. Their adaptive versatility allowed them to exploit various niches, including nocturnal insectivory, carnivory, and scavenging. In certain contexts, mammals may have competed with snakes for small vertebrate prey or insect populations, influencing feeding habits and behaviors. Some early carnivorous mammals could have preyed upon juvenile snakes or snake eggs, posing risks that shaped snake reproductive strategies. Conversely, larger snakes could have preyed upon small mammals, maintaining a complex feedback loop of predator-prey relationships. Other predators shared these ancient habitats as well, including large predatory dinosaurs and theropods in the Cretaceous, various water-dwelling reptiles, and even formidable amphibians. These creatures contributed to an intricate web of interspecific interactions, where each adapted to the pressures imposed by others. Large theropods, for example, may have occasionally preyed upon snakes, as indicated by bite marks and coprolite analyses. The presence of these numerous competitors and threats compelled snakes to evolve diverse defensive and survival mechanisms. Physical adaptations, such as cryptic coloration, burrowing behavior, nocturnal activity, and venom, present in some lineages, though not all, can be seen as responses to multifaceted predation pressures. Behavioral adaptations, including arboreal lifestyles, ambush hunting, and rapid reproductive cycles, further evidence the ecological race for survival. Climate and environmental changes also played a crucial role, altering habitat availability and prey populations, which in turn affected predator communities' compositions. Fluctuations at the end of the Cretaceous, including the mass extinction event, led to significant reshuffling of ecological hierarchies, benefiting some groups while challenging others. In this ever-changing ancient theater, snakes demonstrated remarkable resilience and adaptability, managing to coexist with and sometimes outcompete other predators. Their evolutionary success, despite the presence of formidable competitors, speaks to their specialized traits and ecological plasticity. As we progress, the evolutionary arms race this competitive environment engendered will come into sharper focus, highlighting the defensive adaptations developed by dinosaurs and the responses of their predator counterparts, including snakes. These ongoing interactions tell a story of survival and adaptation that continues to capture our imagination and scientific curiosity. Throughout the long coexistence of snakes and dinosaurs during the Late Cretaceous and into the Paleogene, a profound evolutionary arms race unfolded, one defined by the continuous interplay of offensive predation and defensive adaptation. Dinosaurs, facing threats not only from other large theropods, but also from increasingly formidable prehistoric snakes, developed a suite of adaptations to protect themselves, especially the vulnerable juveniles and nests. These evolutionary responses were central to survival amid a world teeming with predators and helped shape the trajectories of dinosaur life history and behavior. The need to guard against serpentine predation influenced a wide array of defensive strategies in dinosaurs, affecting both their morphology and behavior. One of the most direct adaptations was physical armor. Certain herbivorous dinosaurs, such as ankylosaurs and nodosaurs, evolved bony plates, spikes, and club-like tails that served as formidable deterrents against predators. While these defenses were likely aimed at medium to large theropods, they would have been equally effective against predatory snakes attempting to attack juveniles or smaller individuals. Moreover, in species lacking such armor, speed and agility became vital for juveniles to evade snake predators. Early mobility soon after hatching, characterized by strong limbs for fast running or climbing, enhanced the chances of escape. Fossilized trackways and bone microstructure show that many dinosaur hatchlings were precocial, capable of moving independently shortly after birth. A likely evolutionary response to predation pressure. Social behaviors such as group nesting and parental care also offer powerful defensive advantages. Fossil evidence from multiple dinosaur species indicates that some adults guarded nests or clustered eggs in large colonies, deterring snake raiders by their sheer presence. These behavioral adaptations reduced individual vulnerability as predators faced increased risks attacking guarded or crowded sites. Camouflage and nesting site selection further reveal evolutionary responses. Some dinosaurs nested in concealed locations, such as dense vegetation or rocky outcrops, minimizing the likelihood of detection by snakes and other predators reliant on visual or chemical cues. Coloration patterns, though difficult to ascertain directly from fossils, may have aided juveniles in blending with their surroundings, providing an additional layer of protection. The evolution of rapid growth rates in juvenile dinosaurs also played a defensive role. By growing quickly, young dinosaurs shortened the duration of their vulnerability to snake predation. Bone histology analyses reveal that many herbivores reached significant sizes within months or a few years, a biological strategy reducing predation risk from smaller predators. Sensory and neurological adaptations, though more speculative given fossil limitations, may have included heightened vigilance or acute senses in both juveniles and adults. The ability to detect chemical cues or sounds of approaching snakes could have increased survival odds, especially when combined with social alarm signaling within groups. From the snake's perspective, these dinosaur defenses triggered reciprocal evolutionary pressures, selecting for improved hunting strategies, stealth, and size increases. This coevolutionary dynamic fueled the diversification of both groups, reinforcing the idea of an evolutionary arms race where adaptations on one side sparked counter-adaptations on the other. The arms race extended beyond individual survival to influence reproductive strategies. Some dinosaurs may have evolved greater reproductive output or altered nesting frequencies as a response to predated offspring, balancing losses inflicted by snakes and other predators. In essence, the defensive adaptations of dinosaurs against snake predation represent a fascinating chapter of evolutionary history. They highlight how survival pressures fostered a rich palette of morphological, behavioral, and ecological innovations. These adaptations not only shaped the lifespans of individual species, but also influenced broader patterns of ecosystem stability and biodiversity during a transformative era in Earth's biological heritage. As we proceed, we will trace the legacy of these prehistoric snake giants through extinction events and into the lineage of modern snakes, exploring how the ancient evolutionary battles inform the species we observe today. The colossal snakes that once roamed ancient Earth, including giants like Titanoboa and the formidable prehistoric pythonids, have left an indelible legacy that resonates through time, echoing into the modern era. Understanding the fate of these prehistoric snake giants, their ultimate extinction as well as their survival and evolution into the snakes we know today, provides a compelling narrative about adaptation, resilience, and the ever-changing tapestry of life. The extinction of many of the giant snakes closely aligns with fluctuations in global climate and ecosystem upheavals following the Cretaceous-Paleogene mass extinction event approximately 66 million years ago. This catastrophic event wiped out nearly 3/4 of Earth's species, including the non-avian dinosaurs, dramatically reshaping terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems. Though snakes had survived this extinction, the largest snake species, such as Titanoboa, inhabited environments that would gradually alter due to cooling climate, habitat fragmentation, and changes in prey availability. Post-extinction climatic cooling and shifts toward more seasonal environments likely imposed severe physiological constraints on large ectothermic reptiles, including giant snakes. Because large snakes rely heavily on warm, stable environments to maintain their metabolism and digest large prey efficiently, cooling temperatures and habitat loss would have diminished the ecological niches capable of supporting such giants. Over time, these pressures contributed to a reduction in the maximum achievable body size among snake populations and likely drove the extinction of truly massive species. Yet, while the giants declined or disappeared, the evolutionary trajectory of snakes continued with remarkable success in smaller and more ecologically versatile forms. Descendants of prehistoric lineages adapted to a broad range of habitats worldwide, from tropical rainforests to deserts, and evolved various hunting strategies, including venomous capabilities in some groups and improved constriction in others. Modern large snakes such as anacondas, reticulated pythons, and boas exemplify this heritage. They occupy ecological niches comparable in some respects to their prehistoric forebears, but often with adaptations suited to contemporary environmental pressures. Their ability to exploit aquatic and terrestrial prey, reproduce efficiently, and thermoregulate in diverse climates highlights an evolutionary legacy of versatility inherited from ancient ancestors. Fossil evidence further reveals that some snake lineages achieved gigantism multiple times independently, underscoring a recurring evolutionary theme where favorable environmental conditions permitted large body sizes. This convergence illustrates the adaptability and recurring ecological opportunities available to serpents throughout their history. Modern snakes also carry genetic, morphological, and behavioral clues that link them to their prehistoric predecessors. Studying these traits provides insight into how giant snakes evolved, how stable or variable their body sizes have been over millions of years, and how ecosystems have influenced their survival. The survival of snakes through multiple mass extinctions and environmental perturbations reflects not only their physical and behavioral adaptations, but also their reproductive strategies, including oviparity and viviparity, and the ability to colonize isolated habitats. This enduring snake lineage, ranging from giant prehistoric behemoths to the serpents slithering today, serves as a testament to evolutionary resilience and the power of natural selection to sculpt life across geological epochs. It underscores how extinction and survival are two parts of a continuum that fuels biodiversity rather than an abrupt end to evolutionary possibilities. As we explore beyond the biological and paleontological significance of these giant snakes, their cultural influence stands as a fascinating extension of their legacy. Rooted in the mysteries and myths inspired by their massive forms, prehistoric snakes continue to captivate human imagination, science, and art, bridging past and present in stories that transcend time. Thus, the legacy of prehistoric snake giants is not solely a tale of extinction, but a vibrant, ongoing saga of survival, adaptation, and influence, one that enriches our understanding of the natural world's complexity and evolutionary depth. Throughout history, the awe-inspiring images of dinosaurs and gigantic snakes have captured the public's imagination, fueling a rich vein of fascination that extends beyond scientific circles into popular culture, literature, film, and folklore. The entwined legacy of these prehistoric creatures, particularly the colossal snakes that dwelled alongside dinosaurs, has become emblematic of Earth's deep past, influencing art, storytelling, and even our collective understanding of natural history. The portrayal of dinosaurs as giant, sometimes terrifying creatures has long dominated media narratives, but snakes, especially when imagined as enormous predators rivaling dinosaurs, have added another layer of excitement and mystery. The discovery of giant prehistoric snakes like Titanoboa, for example, rejuvenated public interest by revealing that colossal reptiles were not limited to ancient lizards. Massive serpents also stalked primeval landscapes, adding a new dimension to the prehistoric predator archetype. Films and documentaries have capitalized on this enthralling concept, portraying giant snakes attacking dinosaurs or humans, often amplifying their size and ferocity for dramatic effect. Such depictions play on primal fears and fascination with reptiles, bridging natural history and imagination. Titanoboa became a cultural icon itself, featuring in documentaries like the Smithsonian Channel's Titanoboa, Monster Snake, which brought cutting-edge paleontological discoveries into living rooms worldwide. In literature and folklore, serpents and dragons have symbolized power, danger, and the unknown, themes resonant with scientific findings of prehistoric snake giants. Mythologies around the world include giant snakes, or serpentine monsters reminiscent of titanosaurs and other ancient reptiles, showing a cultural continuity that likely draws subconscious inspiration from humanity's encounters with fossil remains throughout history. Museums and exhibitions also play a vital role in communicating the grandeur and scale of these extinct giants, engaging the public with life-sized reconstructions, interactive exhibits, and storytelling that merges scientific facts with compelling narratives. Such educational initiatives foster appreciation for paleontology and inspire future generations to explore the natural world. Moreover, the popularity of snakes and dinosaurs in pop culture has sparked debates about scientific accuracy, ethics, and the portrayal of prehistoric life. While sensationalism can sometimes distort facts, it also creates opportunities for outreach, dialogue, and deeper understanding when balanced thoughtfully. The fusion of scientific discovery and popular imagination around prehistoric snakes and dinosaurs reflects humanity's enduring curiosity about life's past and the awe these ancient creatures continue to inspire. As research progresses and new discoveries emerge, this cultural narrative evolves, perpetuating a cycle where science influences storytelling, and storytelling, in turn, fuels scientific curiosity. Looking ahead, the ongoing fascination with these titanic reptiles reminds us that prehistoric life is not just a chapter of the distant past, but a living, dynamic influence shaping culture, education, and the way we perceive our planet's rich biological heritage. Paleontology, as a scientific discipline, is inherently dynamic, evolving with each new discovery and analytical advancement. The study of prehistoric snakes and their interactions with dinosaurs is no exception, giving rise to several vibrant controversies and ongoing debates that continue to stimulate research and challenge long-held perspectives. These disagreements not only reflect the complexity of interpreting an incomplete fossil record, but also propel the field forward, refining our understanding of ancient life. One prominent area of debate concerns the exact nature of the evolutionary relationships among prehistoric snakes. While modern molecular analyses have clarified much about living snake lineages, integrating this data with paleontological evidence remains challenging. Determining whether certain Mesozoic snakes belong to ancestral lineages of modern groups or represent distinct, extinct branches is complex, often complicated by fragmentary fossils and convergent anatomical features. This has led to differing interpretations of snake evolution's timing and pace, especially regarding when major snake families first appeared. The ecology and behavior inferred from fossils of prehistoric snakes often spark debate as well. For instance, discussions about the diet and hunting methods of giant snakes like Titanoboa and Sanajeh indicus hinge on limited direct evidence. While some researchers emphasize anatomical adaptations indicative of constriction and predation on dinosaurs, others caution against overinterpretation, noting the potential for dietary breadth and scavenging behaviors. The exact interactions between snakes and dinosaur prey, whether predatory, scavenging, or opportunistic, remain subjects of active inquiry. Fossil discoveries, such as those linked to snake-dinosaur nest predation, invite debates about the prevalence and significance of such behaviors. Although sites like those containing Sanajeh indicus offer unique snapshots, extrapolating how widespread snake nest raiding was across different continents and habitats requires caution. Some scholars argue for broader ecological impact, while others highlight the paucity of direct evidence and potential biases in the fossil record. The interpretation of fossil evidence like coprolites, bite marks, and gut contents introduces further controversy. Identifying the precise producers of such traces is difficult, given multiple potential candidates in ancient ecosystems. For example, attributing bone fragments within coprolites to snakes versus other carnivores can be contentious, requiring careful morphological and geochemical analyses. Additionally, debates surround the drivers behind snake gigantism. Some theories emphasize climatic factors, such as Paleocene greenhouse warmth, fostering larger ectotherms, while others suggest ecological opportunity following the dinosaur extinction or particular evolutionary innovations. The relative weight of these factors continues to be refined as new data emerges. Some controversies also delve into the timing and causes of prehistoric snake extinctions and their survival patterns. Questions remain about how massive environmental changes, volcanism, climate shifts, and biotic turnovers influenced snake diversity and distribution. These discussions often integrate paleontological findings with models from geosciences, ecology, and evolutionary biology. Moreover, disagreements arise around methodological approaches. The integration of novel technologies like synchrotron imaging, cladistic analyses, and molecular clock dating opens valuable avenues, but sometimes yields conflicting hypotheses. Interpretative frameworks evolve as researchers debate the best ways to reconcile fossil morphology with genetic data. Finally, controversies touch on broader philosophical issues within paleontology, such as the completeness and biases of the fossil record, the interpretive limits of taphonomy, and the challenges of reconstructing behavior from ancient remains. These debates underscore the tentative nature of paleontological conclusions and the importance of continual reevaluation as new evidence becomes available. In sum, controversies and ongoing debates in the study of prehistoric snakes and their dinosaur prey are both inevitable and essential. They reflect the frontiers of knowledge and the vibrant scientific discourse that propels our understanding. Rather than detracting from the significance of discoveries, these intellectual engagements enrich the narrative, ensuring a rigorously examined and ever-evolving portrayal of Earth's prehistoric life. As we transition to modern relatives and their connections to prehistoric forms, acknowledging these debates provides context for the complexities and uncertainties that color the exciting journey of paleontological discovery. Modern large snakes, such as the green anaconda, reticulated python, and Burmese python, serve as living testaments to a lineage that stretches far back into the prehistoric world, providing a fascinating connection to their ancient serpent ancestors that once shared the earth with dinosaurs. These contemporary giants embody both remarkable biological continuity and exceptional adaptive evolution, ensuring the survival of their snake heritage while thriving in diverse modern ecosystems. The evolutionary story of these large modern snakes is rooted in the same fundamental adaptations that allowed their prehistoric predecessors to grow colossal and dominate their habitats. Flexible jaws capable of swallowing prey whole, muscular constriction abilities, and the ectothermic metabolism that optimizes energy use in warm climates. These traits have been finely tuned over millions of years, shaped by shifting environments, changing prey availability, and competition with other predators. Green anacondas, Eunectes murinus, exemplify this lineage vividly. Inhabiting the tropical wetlands of South America, the ancient continent that once hosted Titanoboa, the green anaconda exhibits extraordinary size and power, making it one of the world's largest snakes today. Its semi-aquatic lifestyle closely mirrors the ecological niche of prehistoric gigantism, relying on stealth and powerful constriction in dense waterways to subdue a wide variety of prey, from fish and birds to caimans and capybaras. The biological success and formidable presence of anacondas echo the dominance once achieved by their prehistoric relatives. Reticulated pythons, Malaya python reticulatus, hold the record for length among living snakes, reaching upwards of 6 meters or more. Found in the dense forests and river valleys of Southeast Asia, their adaptations for climbing, swimming, and constriction demonstrate the evolutionary versatility that likely originated in their distant ancestors. Their ability to tackle large prey, occasionally extending to ungulates and primates, underscores a continuous thread of predatory specialization evolving from prehistoric pythonids. Burmese pythons, Python bivitatus, similarly inhabit warm, wet environments in Southeast Asia and have become iconic for their size and adaptability. Their expansion into new territories, such as the Florida Everglades, highlights the ongoing ecological impact of these large snakes. Behavioral and physiological parallels to fossil pythonids highlight the enduring success of their evolutionary design. Genetic studies reveal that many modern large snakes share deep ancestry with groups known from the fossil record, suggesting that the lineage of giant snakes has survived multiple mass extinctions and environmental changes, adapting morphologically and behaviorally to new challenges. Remarkably, some lineages achieved gigantism independently multiple times, tracing an evolutionary pattern of repeated success under similar ecological conditions. Their continued survival also underscores the importance of stable, warm climates and complex habitats, factors analogous to paleo-environments from which prehistoric serpent titans once emerged. The tropical and subtropical ecosystems underpinning these snakes' habitats today provide the thermal and resource framework necessary to sustain large ectothermic predators. However, modern large snakes face mounting threats from habitat loss, human conflict, and climate change, challenging their persistence and raising concerns about preserving this ancient legacy. Conservation efforts aim not only to protect these species, but to maintain the biodiversity and ecological functions they represent, functions that have been integral since the age of dinosaurs. Moreover, studying modern snakes offers crucial insights into the biology, behavior, and evolution of their prehistoric counterparts. From reproductive strategies to hunting techniques and physiological limits, contemporary species act as living laboratories for hypotheses about extinct giant snakes. In essence, the large snakes of today are living reminders of Earth's distant past, bridging an evolutionary journey from the shadowed swamps of the Paleocene to vibrant tropical wetlands and forests worldwide. Their prehistoric heritage is an ongoing story of resilience, adaptation, and survival, inspiring both scientific inquiry and a profound appreciation for the enduring legacy of life on our planet. Reconstructing the lost world of prehistoric snakes and their dinosaur prey presents an extraordinary scientific challenge, one that requires an intricate blend of traditional paleontology and cutting-edge technological innovations. The quest to piece together these ancient ecosystems, filled with enigmatic giant serpents alongside the titans of the Mesozoic, demands ever more sophisticated tools and interdisciplinary approaches. As we look to the future, ongoing and emerging scientific techniques promise to unlock new layers of knowledge, shedding unprecedented light on a realm that has fascinated humanity for centuries. At the heart of this endeavor lies meticulous fossil excavation and analysis. Paleontologists painstakingly uncover fragile snake vertebrae, skull fragments, dinosaur eggshells, and nests, piecing together scattered evidence from diverse geological formations worldwide. From the coal-swamped rainforests of Colombia, home to the colossal Titanoboa, to the arid outcrops of India revealing Sanajeh's secrets, every fossil find acts as a vital puzzle piece in understanding ancient serpentine dinosaur interactions. Yet, fossils tell an incomplete story alone. The key to reconstructing prehistoric ecosystems entails reconstructing not just the organisms, but their climatic, geographic, and ecological contexts. Here, apposite technologies and analytical methods transform paleontology into an integrative science. Advanced imaging modalities such as high-resolution computed tomography, CT scans, enable scientists to visualize internal skeletal structures non-invasively, reconstructing delicate details of snake skull kinesis or dinosaur embryonic development. These virtual models offer insights into feeding mechanics, growth rates, and evolutionary relationships that traditional fossil examination cannot reveal. Geochemical analyses, including stable isotope studies, inform about paleoclimatic conditions, migratory patterns, and dietary preferences. By examining isotopic signatures preserved in teeth, bones, or eggshells, researchers deduce temperature regimes, habitat use, and trophic interactions within these ancient communities. Such data refine our understanding of how climate shaped snake gigantism and dinosaur distribution. Paleogenomics and molecular phylogenetics, although limited by DNA degradation over millions of years, leverage comparative genetic studies of living snakes and reptiles to infer evolutionary timelines and relationships. Coupling molecular clock estimates with fossil calibration enhances the reconstruction of snake lineage diversification and their ancestral traits. Furthermore, three-dimensional reconstruction software and biomechanical modeling simulate locomotion, feeding forces, and predator-prey dynamics. Scientists can virtually test drive how a Titanoboa constricted prey or how a Sanajeh snake infiltrated dinosaur nests, lending concrete functional perspectives to morphological data. Coprolite and gut content studies are greatly facilitated by synchrotron radiation and scanning electron microscopy, revealing microscopic bone fragments, undigested scales, or eggshell residues, enriching our knowledge of real diet composition and feeding behaviors. Looking ahead, emerging technologies like ancient protein sequencing, enhanced virtual reality environments, and artificial intelligence-driven data analysis hold transformative potential. They promise to provide more complete snapshots of prehistoric life and enable broader-scale ecological and evolutionary modeling. Equally crucial is the expansion of collaborative international fossil expeditions and interdisciplinary research initiatives. Combining geological mapping, paleoecology, climatology, comparative anatomy, and computational biology fosters comprehensive reconstructions of prehistoric ecosystems and broadens the scope of inquiries beyond individual fossils to ecosystem-wide patterns. The future of reconstructing the lost world of prehistoric snakes and their dinosaur prey is thus vibrant, propelled by methodological innovation and scientific curiosity. Each new discovery, technique, and theoretical advance not only enriches our understanding of these ancient giants and their habitats, but also deepens our appreciation for the intricate, interwoven saga of life on Earth. As we move forward in this journey, embracing the synergy of technology and tradition, we edge ever closer to bringing this fascinating, vanished world back to life, allowing us to glimpse the grand ancient drama in all its complexity and wonder. Even after decades of dedicated fossil research and the remarkable revelations brought forth by discoveries such as Titanoboa and Sanajeh indicus, many mysteries about prehistoric snakes and their interactions with dinosaurs persist, lingering questions that continue to challenge paleontologists and inspire ongoing investigations. The fossil record, while invaluable, offers but fragmented glimpses of an intricate past filled with ecological dramas and evolutionary experiments. These enduring enigmas underscore both the complexity of ancient ecosystems and the limitations inherent in reconstructing deep time. One primary unanswered question concerns the full extent and frequency of snake predation on dinosaurs. While fossils like Sanajeh provide direct evidence of snakes feeding on eggs and hatchlings, the broader impact of such predation on dinosaur populations remains unclear. How widespread was nest-raiding behavior among prehistoric snakes? Did snake predation significantly influence dinosaur reproductive strategies, nesting behaviors, or juvenile survival in diverse regions and ecosystems? These fundamental ecological dynamics are still being pieced together, limited by the rarity of such exquisite fossil associations. Furthermore, the diversity and distribution of enormous prehistoric snakes prompt questions about how many giant snake species truly coexisted alongside dinosaurs and how their ecological niches were partitioned. Was gigantism a common evolutionary state conquered multiple times independently, or restricted to a few specialized lineages such as Titanoboa's family? The fossil record's geographic and temporal gaps make it difficult to fully appreciate the diversity and evolutionary trajectories of these apex serpents. The physiological limits and metabolic adaptations that allowed some snakes to achieve astonishing sizes in warm prehistoric climates also invite deeper inquiry. How exactly did shifts in global climate and environmental conditions influence snake body size evolution? Could snakes have reached even greater sizes under different circumstances? The interplay between biology, climate, and ecology remains a fertile area of research. Moreover, the hunting strategies and behaviors of many prehistoric snakes require further elucidation. Did venom play a role in snake-dinosaur interactions, or were constriction and ambush predation the primary means? How did snakes adapt sensory mechanisms to detect and subdue prey, particularly dinosaur offspring? From a taphonomic perspective, why is the fossilization of snake-dinosaur interactions so rare, and what undiscovered fossil localities might hold richer fossil assemblages waiting to illuminate these mysteries? Could advances in technology, such as enhanced imaging and molecular analyses, unlock hidden details in existing fossils, offering new insights? Questions also persist about the post-Cretaceous evolutionary consequences of snake-dinosaur dynamics. How did the extinction of non-avian dinosaurs affect the diversification and ecological roles of snakes? What lessons can modern snake ecology teach us about their ancient forebears? Ultimately, the enduring mystery surrounding prehistoric snakes and their dinosaur prey is a testament to the vastness of Earth's deep history and the continual quest to understand our planet's biological heritage. It challenges scientists to look beyond bones and stones, to integrate data across disciplines, and to embrace the unknown as a frontier for discovery. As we reflect on these unanswered questions, we are reminded that the story of prehistoric life is far from complete, and that every new fossil, analysis, or insight brings us closer to comprehending the extraordinary interplay of life forms from long ago. It is within these mysteries that the spirit of paleontology thrives, an ongoing narrative fueled by curiosity, perseverance, and wonder.